Hi guys, my name is Justice. This is my third YouTube video, and today I would like to share with you my coming out story. So it all started like my freshman year. I mean, I've always known I was gay, but I've just always like pushed it to the back of my head. And my freshman year, I happened to just join wrestling, which kind of triggered it, because I'm like, oh, am I supposed to be looking at these guys in this way? Oh, why don't I look at girls in that way? And then I started researching it and everything, and and I was like, oh, I have a lot in common with gay people, and so I didn't take it very lightly on myself. I started hating myself because nobody liked, gay is not a good thing, but, and everybody's always looked down upon it or made fun of it and everything, and I just didn't feel comfortable with it, so I kind of went into like a deep depression. Yeah, we all go through it, and so finally, after about a couple months or so, I remember the first people I actually told were my parents, because I was kind of just like a make or break situation, because I still had a hard time accepting it and everything. So I was just like, okay, well, why not just tell my parents and let's see how it goes from there. So let's see if they accept it or if they disapprove of it. And then I was kind of gonna show what I did. But so yeah, I remember it was like, I actually think the date was like May 24th, 3 years ago. So it was like, it was 2011, and I was a freshman going, it was the end of my freshman year, and my mom took me to go get, we were going to get Mexican food, and she noticed that I've been acting weird for a while, and I would sit in my room and just listen to music, and then I would always be like, I wouldn't be very talkative, and I would just be depressed and everything. And so she was kind of just like, Justice, what's the matter? You need to tell me. And it took me a while, and I just sat there, but finally I was just like, Mom, can you pull over? And she pulled over, and like, it was like, I think it was like Hardee's parking lot or something, and I was just like, I sat there for like 5 minutes, and I was just like, I had a hard time getting it out, and then finally I was just like, I'm gay, and I kind of just like broke down crying, and which just made my mom cry, because seeing me cry, and then which made me cry even harder, because who would like to see their mom cry. And so then she was just like, it's okay, and we talked about it that night. When we went back to the house, we were like, I was like, Mom, don't tell Jerry, which is my stepdad, because I was like, it's just between me and you, but she felt the need to go and tell him, and he had a gay stepson before, so he was just like, oh yeah, it's whatever. I mean, and so we were talking about it and everything, and she seemed alright about it at first, but then she was like, it's just a phase. And when she mentioned it to my stepdad, he was also like, are you sure it's just not a phase? Because apparently he had a friend in high school who went through the same phase and everything. And I was like, no, I've always been this way. And so my mom started getting a little bit mad about it, because she just had a hard time believing that her kid was like that. And so we just stopped talking about it for a while, and it just never came up for a while. And I didn't change anything. I was just like, yeah, it's not a phase. It's not, that's how it's gonna be. I didn't really say that, but I just started acting and I started accepting it more. And then that led to coming out to my friends, which was over the summer. It was like, I think I turned, the first friend I told was my friend Caitlin, who at the time, she had a crush on me. So I was just like, okay, easy way to get out of this. And then I was just like, because girls are more accepted, they accept it more. So I was just like, yeah, Caitlin, about that, I'm kind of gay. And then, yeah, that just opened up a whole new thing. She was just like, oh, really? That's cool. And then that led to our friendship growing, and we're best friends now. And then the second person I told was, it was my ex-girlfriend at that time. Like, right after we broke up, I told her because I felt really bad. And that didn't really, it was like over Facebook, and I was just, and she kept bugging me about it, and I was just like, finally, just like, yeah, I'm gay. And at that time, Caitlin and Allison didn't like each other because they both liked me, and Caitlin was jealous of Allison, and then, yeah, but they were friends before that, and then that just led to all of us getting close. And then the person after that I told was, the first guy that I told was my best friend Sean. And because when me and Sean got close, I heard about him going to the Pride Fest and stuff because his mom's a huge supporter and she just pulls him into it. So I was just like, yeah, if you're gonna go to Pride Fest, you can go to wear Pride Fest shirts all the time. All right, I'll tell you. And we actually figured out a lot about each other that night that I told him, and it was really interesting, and it made me much more confident about just myself and how it's not that bad. But yes, there were some bumps and bad turns in the road because yes, I've had friends that defriended me. There's always those people that are like, ew, that's weird, and that kind of stuff. Which, yes, I kind of wrestle, which, yeah, that's kind of stereotypical, whatever. I'm sorry, but I mean, I like wrestling for the competition and everything. The tournaments are sweet and everything, so I'm just like, yeah. But yeah, so the only real person that I really had a doubt about was my grandma, because my grandma has always been really religious, and I've grown up into that, and I used to be really Christian because of her. Like, we would have church Sunday every day at the house because my mom used to live with her, and I grew up with her, and she would always pull out the Bible, and she was really good at expressing how she disapproved of gay people, even though her hairdresser is a gay guy. And she's just like, yeah, I don't associate with him. He cut your hair, but okay. But yeah, and so that happened, which at that time my mom knew, well, like everybody in my family knew, and this was really just like a year ago, I think. And so right before that, my little brother figured out, which he's like 13. When I told him, he kind of like broke down and cried, which I didn't know how to take that. That made me really sad because I was just like, what am I supposed to do? Because And apparently his reason for that was because he felt bad for me because he knows how he's saw, and he didn't want his brother to be gay, which I can totally understand, because I mean, who would want their brother to go through that? And who would, because like he's gonna be a freshman this year and I'm gonna be a senior, and yeah, he's just gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna keep it a secret, so yeah, he's just gonna have to, we just joke around about it now and everything, but yeah. So that happened, and then, so I was just like, Mom, how should I tell Grandma? Because I really didn't want to tell her, but then my mom was just like, okay, well, since everybody else knows, you just need to let your grandma know already. And I was just really iffy about it, because it's really not any of her business necessarily, because, I mean, it's just who I'm going to date and who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. Which I guess that's kind of her business. But, yeah. So my mom was just like, all right, well, we'll do this together. So one day my mom invited my grandma over for dinner, and we were done eating and everything. My stepdad went inside, and sitting outside it was me, my mom, and my little brother. And my mom was just kind of like, both my little brother and my mom, they're really like protective of me, and they were just like, if she tries yelling at you or slapping you or whatever. Oh yeah, because I forgot to say that this one time my little brother was joking around, and I don't think at this time he knew. He was just totally joking, because he didn't expect it either. But he was like, hey Grandma, Justice is gay. And my grandma literally turned, she looked so pissed off, and she just backhanded me across the face. And he was totally joking, and you could tell that he was joking. And I got really pissed off, and I just got out of the car and just walked away and did not talk to her for a good 2 weeks or so. And yeah, so that just proved how I thought she was going to take it. But when we sat her down and talked to her about it, it was like 3-on-1. So my mom kind of just said it for me. She was just like, all right, Mom, so here's the deal. Justice is gay, and you're either gonna have to deal with it or don't deal with it. And she was really straightforward about it, because that's why I love my mom, because she is really straightforward about that stuff. But yeah, and then so my grandma just sat there. She just had a straight face. She was like, no, he's not. And that was pretty much the end of the conversation. And she was like that for a while, and she's determined that I'm not that, because she thinks it's a lifestyle and everything, and you just choose to be like that. But, and then just after a while, because me and my mom and my family just talk about it all the time, because I mean, yeah, it's my dating life and everything. So me and my mom will sit here and talk about these guys or that I'm talking to or whatever. And so after a while, my grandma just like grew used to it. And so now me and my mom will literally sit there and talk to my grandma about the people that I'm seeing, or just me being gay. And yeah, my grandma just doesn't show her disapproval anymore, which, hey, it's whatever. So yeah, this has been my coming out story, and that's for the most part all I really have to share with you guys. If you want to know more about me or have any other questions, just inbox me or like and subscribe or comment or whatever. So later, guys.